פיצר. אוקיי, חבר'ה. טוב. I'm gonna start, Ima. I'm gonna start. So I'm gonna start. I can only mute Zoom. I can't mute the guys who are physically here. So please mute yourself. Thank you. Yofi. Now that we got that done, Abba, please turn your sound other soft. Turn your sound other soft. Yafe. We have a big we have a big audience. So thank you everyone for coming. It's been exactly 1 Hebrew year, exactly to the date. Tomorrow, actually, or now, Cafe Sivan. So everyone, welcome to the Erev Limud. לזכר ואלוהי נשמת grandma. And we're gonna start. I am just not sure what is exactly the order. איך זה מתחיל? אז נתחיל עם סיום. אז חנן, אז תבטל אצלך את המיוט בבקשה. חכה רגע, אני אעשה שנייה מיוט לכולם. זה לא משנה, יראו אותו מפה. חנן, תבטל אצלך את המיוט. Prager, now you're still on, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
תדבר.
Okay. ערב טוב לכולם.
תמשיך.
Nice to see you all. I will try to do the film in English. I hope it's going to be fine. So, I finished Masechet Melachot. I will read in Hebrew the last Mishnah, and then I will explain it in English. The last Mishnah says, נאמר בעולת הבהמה, יישאר ריח מכוח, ובעולת העוף, יישאר ריח מכוח, ובמנחה יישאר ריח מכוח. ללמד שאחד המרבה ואחד הממית, ובלבד שיכוון את דעתו לשמיים. The last Mishnah says that in each sacrifice, in each korban, from the cows or chicken or from the wheat, it says the same pasuk, יישאר ריח מכוח. Why? To teach us that what matters is not if you're rich or poor, it's just what in your mind or your heart, that you're thinking on God, about God, or Kadosh Baruch Hu, and you want to bring a sacrifice. סליק מסכת מנחות וגם מסכת זבחים.
רגע, אנחנו בודקים אם אנחנו מניין. We have... Okay. We're just bringing someone here to make us minion here. We're going to continue in a minute. כן, אתה מושתק? אז תבטל את ההשתקה.
Till Henry went to bring a one for minion, I will say one thing about Grandma, but one thing that I remember very good. She used to care about us. I remember every time that I used to come to visit Grandma and Grandpa, she always asked me, even if I was in the army or in the yeshiva, if someone caring for me, if I have enough money for traveling, and I said, yes, of course I have enough. I have even free traveling, and she said, you know what? I will give you money so you have. Oscar, please give him 100 shekels so we have it. I said, no, it's fine. I have. And she said, you used to say, take it. We want to help you. It's fine. We want to know that someone's caring for you, and well, yeah.
עוד מישהו אחר שרוצה להגיד משהו? Sorry, פשוט גם פה אין כל כך מיוט בין הנוכחים הפיזיים פה. Ima.
Where am
Say
I?
something. Paul.
Right.
Say something.
Until we get our 10th man down, where Dobby said I should say a few words. My mother was an inveterate letter writer to the Jerusalem Post. Hang on 1 minute, there's too much background noise. Mum was she was always writing letters of protest. It started off way back in the 1970s in London, where she was Judy from Golders Green, and she would phone up LBC, and I think it's outrageous that, and it doesn't matter what. So she was outraged about something or was disgusted about something. And she carried on this wonderful tradition. Once she arrived in Israel, she would phone me up and say, Anne, I want you to send a letter to the Jerusalem Post. And I said to her, Mum, you can send the letter yourself. And she said, but I don't know how to type. I said, nobody knows how fast or how slowly you type. Practice makes perfect. Just sit in front of the computer. And I taught Mum how to send emails, and a monster was created. In the last few weeks, I've been searching my emails. I found 17 letters of my mother that she wrote. I've put them all together into a one Word document. I will send it out by WhatsApp or email. But meanwhile, I just printed out a few, and I printed out what I had, the 17 letters that I found. I know there's more. But I can't find them. They're gone from the server. She's taken them with her to the grave. She's taken them with to the grave. And I could actually write to the Jerusalem Post and ask them if they could look through their archives and send us all the letters that Mum wrote. She wrote an awful lot. Pardon? No, well, she wrote hundreds. Well, she didn't have yeah. Anyway, so this was Mum, and I've just been reading through some of the letters. I don't think anything has changed, unfortunately, in 30 years or 20 years or so that she's been writing letters. What she would make of the government today and what's going on, she would be disgusted from Petach Tikva. Anyway, I hope Mum is having a laugh up there. Yeah, after at the end, if there's time, maybe we'll read one or two. Anyway, Hanan is going to make a siyum for the Ilui Nishmat Mum, Yehudit Bat Yehuda Vadaya, and may Mum's neshama have an aliyah. May we be zocher to honor Mum's memory with learning, with good deeds, and nachas from the children.
Amen.
Right.
So we have now our Armenian. So the next thing is what's the next thing actually? Kaddish? סיום. אוקיי, חנן, רגע. אתה...
I will do the siyum again. Well, I will read in Hebrew. The last Mishnah, and then I will explain it in English, and then I will say the Kaddish or you want to say the Kaddish? Yeah. Okay. Good. So we're going to read the last Mishnah in Hebrew of Masechet Menachot. נאמר בעולת הבהמה איש ירח ניחוח, ובעולת העוף איש ירח ניחוח, ובמנחה איש ירח ניחוח, ללמד שאחד המרבה ואחד הממעיט, ובלבד שיכוון את דעתו לשמיים. The last Mishnah says that it doesn't matter if you bring the sacrifice or korban from cows or chicken or from wheat. The thing that matters is what in your mind or in your heart. That you're thinking about Kodesh Baruch Hu, you're thinking about God, that you want to bring the sacrifice not for yourself, for the Bet HaMikdash and for Kodesh Baruch Hu. Slik Masechet Menachot. I will now read the Hadran Alach, and then you will say the Kaddish. Hadran Alach Masechet Menachot והדרן הלך. דעתן הלך מסכת מנחות ודעתן הלך. לא נתנה שמינך מסכת מנחות ולא תתנה שמינן. לא בעלמא דין ולא בעלמא דעתה. הדרן הלך מסכת מנחות והדרן הלך. דעתן הלך מסכת מנחות ודעתן הלך. לא נתנה שמינך מסכת מנחות ולא תתנה שמינן, לא בעלמא דין ולא בעלמא דעתה. הדרן הלך מסכת מנחות והדרן הלך. דעתן הלך מסכת מנחות ודעתן הלך. לא נתנה שמינך מסכת מנחות ולא תתנה שמינן, לא בעלמא דין ולא בעלמא דעתה. יהי רצון לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ולא אהבתם, שתהיה תורתך אומנותנו בעולם הזה, ותהיה עמנו לעולם הבא. חנינא בר פפא, רמי בר פפא, נחמן בר פפא, אחי בר פפא, אבא מרי בר פפא, רפרם בר פפא, רכיש בר פפא, סומכה בר פפא, עדה בר פפא, דרו בר פפא. הערב נא אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך בפינו ובפיות עמך בית ישראל, ונהיה אנחנו וצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל, כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה. ואויבי תחכמנו מצוותיך כי לעולם היא לי, יהי ליבים תמים בחוקיך למען לא אבוש. לעולם לא אשכח פקודיך כי בם חייתני, ברוך אתה אדוני, למדני חוקיך, אמן אמן אמן, סלע ואל. מודים אנחנו לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו, ששמת חלקנו ביושבי בית המדרש, ולא שמת חלקנו ביושבי קרנות. שאנו משכימים והם משכימים, אנו משכימים דברי תורה והם משכימים דברים בטלים. אנו עמלים והם עמלים, אנו עמלים ומקבלים שכר והם עמלים ואינם מקבלים שכר. אנו רוצים והם רוצים, אנו רוצים לחיי העולם הבא והם רוצים לבאר שחת, שנאמר, ואתה אלוהים תורידנו לבאר שחת, אנשי דמים ומרמה, לא יחצו ימיהם ואני אבטח בה. יהי רצון לפניך, אדוני אלוהי, כשם שעזרתני לסיים מסכת מלאכות, כן תעזרני להתחיל מסכת מצרים אחרים ולסיימם, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה. וזכות כל התנאים והאמוראים ותלמידי חכמים יעמוד לנו ולזרענו, שלא ימוש התורה מפינו ומפי זרענו, וזה עזרנו עד עולם. ותתקיים בנו ותלכך תנחה אותך, ושוכבך תשמור עליך, וקיצות היא תשיחך, כי וירבו ימיך ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים. אורך ימים בימינה, בשמאלה עושר וכבוד. אדוני עוז לנו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
The next thing we say is the Kaddish. Who's gonna say? Okay. רגע, אז מה הדבר הבא? תפילה לעילוי נשמת. תפילו לעילוי נשמת. רגע, מי צריך להוריד רק את הסאונד? תוריד. אתה אצלך רמקול מופע, אתה אומר את זה משלך, זה... רגע.
תפילה לעילוי הנשמה. אנא אדוני מלא רחמים, אשר בידך נפש רוח כל בשרי, הנה לפניך תורתנו בעבור נשמת וכמו נעים בחזרה הגדול לפתוח שערי רחמים וחסד ושערי גן עדן, ותקבל אותה באהבה ובחיבה, ושלח לה מלאכיך הקדושים והטהורים להוליכה ולשיבה תחת עץ החיים אצל נשמות הצדיקים, חסידים וחסידות, לענות להסביר גם מבחן הצדיקים, בקבר במנוחה נכונה, בחדווה ובשמחה, יבוא שלום הולך נכוחו, וכתיב ילזו חסידים בכבוד.
ותשפיע עלה מנשמתה, ותשן עצמותיה, כי מרוב טוב הצפון לצדיקים, וכתיב מה רב טובך אשר צפנת ליראיך, וכתיב שומר כל עצמותיו אחת מהנה לא נשבעה, ותשכון בטח בדד ושאנן משפחת רעב, ואל תראה בני גיהנום, ונשמתה תהיה צורה בצרור החיים ולהחיותה, בתחיית המתים, כל מתי עמך ישראל ברחמים, אמן.
אמן. איילה, האם את מחוברת? איילה, האם את מחוברת? רגע.
כן, אני כאן. היי.
איילה מחוברת. רגע, אבל איילה, שנייה, לא שומעים אותך? דקה אחת. דקה.
שומעים אותי עכשיו?
רגע. איילה, תגידי שנייה משהו?
משהו?
אוקיי. אז איילה... רגע, חבר'ה, כולם בשקט בבקשה. רק איילה תדבר. אז איילה, יש לך... נכון, סיום?
כן, של משנה.
כן, אז טוב, הבמה, מה שנקרא, שלך, אז.
אוקיי.
כן.
אני גמרתי את מסכת סוכה. סיימתי מסכת סוכה במשניות. אני לא אקריא את כל המשנה האחרונה, כי היא די ארוכה, אני אקריא את המשפטים האחרונים. מדובר המשנה עוסקת כשמשמרות הכהונה באות לעבוד, אז כמה לחם פנים הם מקבלים, כי כל משמר כהונה מקבל לחם פנים, כי זה חלק מהמתנות שהוא מקבל כשהוא עובד, אבל איך זה מתחלק ומתי זה מתחלק? אז זה מתחלק בערב שבת, והתנא קמא אומר, הנכנס נוטל 6 והיוצא נוטל 6, שזה מתחלק שווה בשווה בערב שבת, המשמר שנכנס מקבל 6 לחמים, והמשמר שיוצא מקבל 6 לחמים. רבי יהודה אומר, הנכנס נוטל 7 והיוצא נוטל 5. ככה שסך הכל אתה תקבל 12, אבל כשאתה תיכנס, אתה מתחיל את השבוע, אתה מקבל 7, וכשאתה יוצא אתה מקבל 5. הנכנסים חולקים בצפון והיוצאים בדרום. בלגה לעולם חולקת בדרום, וטבעתה קבועה וחלונה סתומה. מפרטים לנו איפה פיזית בבית המקדש החלוקה נעשית. מי שנכנס לתפקיד עכשיו, מתחיל את השבועיים שלו, אז הוא חולק בצפון, הוא מקבל את הלחם שלו בצפון העזרה, ומי שיוצא, יוצא מהדרום. ובלגה, זה אחד מבתי האב, הם תמיד חולקים בדרום, וטבעתה קבועה וחלונה סתומה. הטבעת שלה, של הקרבת קורבנות, שעליה סומכים את המקל שממנו מקריבים, אז היא תקועה במקום, ואז הם צריכים לעשות יותר פרוצדורה של לסדר את הקורבן, וחלונה סתומה, שזה איפה שהם היו שומרים את הסכינים, אז סתמו להם את זה, והם צריכים למצוא מקום אחר לשמור את הכלים שלהם, והגמרא מבארת שזה בגלל שהם תמיד איחרו, והם אף פעם לא היו קמים בזמן, אז אמרו להם, בגלל שאתם אף פעם לא קמים בזמן, אנחנו עכשיו ניתן לכם עונש על זה, אז הם תמיד חלקו בדרום, גם כשהם הגיעו, שזה היה פחות נוח, כי מגיעים מהצפון, אז הם היו צריכים לחצות את כל העזרה כדי לקבל את המנה שלהם, וגם היה להם יותר קשה להקריב את הקורבנות וזה, בגלל שהם איחרו, אז אל תאחרו.
מסקנה מתאימה לגרמה.
כן, בהחלט, למשפחת פראגר באופן כללי. Don't be late. אדרן הלך מסכת סוכה והדרה חנן, דעתן הלך מסכת סוכה ודעתה חלן, לא תתנשא מנך מסכת סוכה ולא תתנשא מנן, לא בעל מעדין ולא בעל מעדעתי. אדרן הלך מסכת סוכה והדרה חנן, דעתן הלך מסכת סוכה ודעתה חלן, לא נתנשא מנך מסכת סוכה ולא תתנשא מנן, לא בעל מעדין ולא בעל מעדעתי. אדרן הלך מסכת סוכה והדרה חלן, דעתן הלך מסכת סוכה ודעתה חלן, לא נתנשא מנך מסכת סוכה ולא תתנשא מנן, לא בעל מעדין ולא בעל מעדעתי. ערב נא אדוני אלוהינו דברי תורתך בפינו ובפיות עמך, בית ישראל, ונהיה כולנו, אנחנו מצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך, בית ישראל, כולנו ידי שמך ולמדי תורתך לשמה. מאוהבי תחכמני מצוותיך, כי לעולם היא לי. יהי ליבי תמים בחוקיך למען לא אבוש. לעולם לא אשכח פקודיך, כי בם חיתני. ברוך אתה אדוני למדני חוקיך. אמן אמן אמן, סלע ועד. מודים אנחנו לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו, ששמת חלקנו מיושבי בית המדרש ולא מיושבי קרנות, שאנו משכימים והם משכימים. אנו משכימים לדברי תורה והם משכימים לדברים בטלים. אנו עמלים והם עמלים. אנו עמלים ומקבלים שכר והם עמלים ואינם מקבלים שכר. אנו רצים והם רצים. אנו רצים לחיי העולם הבא והם רצים לבאר שחת. שנאמר ואתה אלוהים תורידם לבאר יהי רצון לפניך אדוני אלוהי שכשם שעזרתני לסיים מסכת סוכה, כך תעזרני להתחיל מסכתות וספרים אחרים לסיימם, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור, לעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה. בזכות כל התנאים ותלמידי חכמים הנזכרים במסכת סוכה, תעמוד לי ולזרי שלא תמוש התורה מפי ומפי זרי וזרע זרי עד עולם. ויקוים בי, בהתהלכך תנחה אותך, בשוכבך תשמור עליך, והקיצות היא תשיחך. אורך ימים בימינה ובשמאלה, עושר וכבוד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. I'm done.
כל הכבוד. כן. אוקיי, אז רגע, אני אשתיק פה. מה, רגע, הדבר הבא, אוקיי, הדבר הבא זה אל מלא רחמים. אלי, אתה יכול להחליש אצלך עד הסוף בבקשה? כן, אוקיי, הדבר הבא אל מלא רחמים, רגע, אני אעביר את המקבוק פה ליד אבא. רגע, איפה אהרון? אוקיי, הדבר הבא זה אל מלא רחמים, שהוקרא על ידי אבא יקר.
אל מלא רחמים, שוכן במרמים, אמצי מנוחה נכונה, על כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהרים, כזוהר רקיע מזהירים, ונשמעת הגברת יהודי בת יהודה ודיה שהלכה לעולמה. בעבור שבלי נדר אנחנו ניתן צדקה, ועד הסוף נשמתה בגן עדן תהי נשמתה. לכן אמרנו יסתירו ותסייסר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור מצרור חיים את נשמתו. אדוני הוא נחלתו, ושמוח ושלום המשתבח, ונאמר
אמן. אוקיי. דבר, no Kaddish currently. שכוח. רגע. And yeah. כן. אוקיי. רגע.
Auntie Miriam, if they want to say.
Auntie Eva or Auntie Miriam, would you like to say anything, please? A few words. Yeah. One moment. One moment. I will unmute Eva.
I'm unmuted.
Yeah, we can hear you. Eva, we can hear you.
You can hear me good.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at this talking off the cuff because I get myself all emotional. So when Nicole told me that Anne asked if I'd like to say something, I wrote down a few words. But before I saw, just to let you know, Anne, Judy once showed me all her clippings, which he had in a, I don't know, some sort of a clip. And I did suggest that she send the same to the Jewish Chronicle in London when she saved to the Jerusalem Post, but she never did. But that's our loss. Right. I can't believe it's a whole year since Judy passed away. Although we could only see each other briefly these last few years, I always rejoiced in the knowledge that Judy was still there. And that's an enormous thing. Nowadays, my visits to Israel, they are bittersweet because the knowledge that Judy is truly gone. I remember so many things about her. I could keep you talking here for hours, but I won't. But just one thing. I remember our endless phone calls. In fact, on one such occasion, I rang Judy to have a chat. And an hour later, I put the phone down and I hadn't said a word. And in fact, I have somewhere a picture, and I've been looking, a photo of Judy in her kitchen, 2 phones, and she's talking to both of them. And I'm trying not to laugh because I don't even know who she was talking to me. And she managed it in 3 languages all at the same time. I miss her so much. So many things I could talk about, but mainly she was such a good influence on our lives, particularly when it came to halacha and din. My mantra was, if Judy does it, then it's okay. And it's true, it is so true. But she's not with us anymore, and we have to learn, as we've learned this last year, to live without her. But I read somewhere that if one person remembers you, you are not gone. And I have to say, Judy, you have so many who remember you. You will never be gone.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we talk?
Thank you. Yeah, you can talk. You can talk.
Eva, thank you for those beautiful words, for giving us a laugh and for reminding us of all those aspects of mum that I've forgotten. These when you said that she was, halacha, and I remember Dad telling me that Rabbi Munk used to live next door to us, and mum, being the daughter of a shochet, she was always every time she sort of cut up some chicken, she found there was a problem with one of the bones or something. Kept running back to Rabbi Munk to ask him a shaila. And one day he told Dad, "Please tell your wife not to be so muckpid."
Yeah, you want to talk to him? Talk to the MacBook. Take on.
I remember Auntie Judy, the Rabbanit in Netivot, Daddy's sister. I went there one time just before Pesach, and I said, I'm going home for Pesach. She said, oh, is it Yofi? I said, yes, my mum's left the baking tins and the cutlery for me to do, and I hate doing it. She said, well, what do you do with the baking tins and the cutlery? I said, we have to scrub them and go into every crevice and every little crack to get it all out. She goes, oh, you're such tzaddikim. I said, I'm not tzaddikim, that's what my mum does. She goes, what's an Eshet Chayil? So I said, well, what do you do? She said, I put it in the cupboard, I close it. I went home and I said to Mommy, I'm just telling you, I'm not doing baking tins and I'm not doing your cutlery, because even Auntie Judy in Netivot shoves it in the cupboard and closes the door. And so we won't be such a chayil. And Mummy was rather shocked, to say the least. I think that was the beginning of us ruining Mummy's life. Fine. Anyone else wants to talk?
One moment.
Yes.
One moment. One moment. I'll set her up. One moment. And Eva, sorry, I had to mute you. Miriam. Yeah. One moment. I'm trying to unmute Miriam. Here, Miriam, you can talk.
I can talk. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can all hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I'm very happy to see all of you. I haven't seen you for a long, long time. I cannot believe how you've all grown up. And there's so many of you that I don't even know. Unfortunately, Baruch Hashem, our family has grown. I was saying the other day to Ruthie, when we were children and we lived in North London, it was just us children, my parents, and the only other relative we had was Uncle Herman and Auntie Joyce, or originally Auntie Helen, and then Gillian. And that was the Strauss family. And look at us now. Hitler, eat your heart out. Anyhow.
Didn't have one.
I cannot talk about Judy because I get too emotional. Maybe next year. It's still for me very, very fresh, even though it's a year that's gone by. I don't think there's a day that I don't think of her. Something I do, something I hear somebody say, clicks into my ear and it reminds me of her. So what can I tell you? Live your lives the way your mother would want you to. And if you do that, she's not gone.
Thank you, Miriam. Till now, I haven't had tears in my eyes, hardly at all, maybe tears of laughter, but you've set me off. It's all your fault. But thank you for those heartfelt words, because you're putting it all into perspective.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's see. One moment.
Thank you. And while we're here, I want to wish you a refuah shlema. It's so lovely to see you online and speak to you. And thank you for setting you up on the Zoom. We have to do this more often, even if we can't get to see you in person, at least online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, and yeah, may we all be meeting each other only in happy occasions.
Yes. Jenny, יש ילדים שרוצים לדבר?
יכולה לדבר, תשאלי פה.
What?
האם יש פה, רגע, האם יש פה עוד מישהו פה בזום שרוצה לדבר? Anyone else who want to say something?
Someone from any of the Luke, do you want to say anything about Mum?
One moment. Auntie Ruth. Then the computer into just talk to here. One moment. Yeah, you can just speak.
Speak to the computer.
Just speak into the computer. You can just speak regular.
I'm waving at Miriam and the picture behind her. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, she says you can. Okay.
Okay. Well,
I muted everyone else. Only Auntie Ruth can speak. So yeah, sorry, we can't hear anyone else currently. Ruth,
okay.
stage is yours.
Well, I'm going to talk about Judy working in the hospital. I started to work in the hospital 20-something years ago. And a short time afterwards, Judy decided she wanted to join. And she worked very, very nicely. She could run the shop. She really could run the shop, because she worked Thursday afternoon and she had to close the shop. She had to count the money, put 400 into the till, and the rest. And then lock the key, lock the safe, lock the door, and give the keys to the security. I never worked Thursday afternoons. I worked Monday morning because I still worked. So Judy joined me Monday morning as well. So, we really enjoyed working together. When she got ill, they offered me somebody else, but I wasn't interested. It just wasn't the same anymore, and I packed it out.
Very fast.
She was
She
good in the
learned the
shop.
what?
The Kupa of Shemet.
איך זה נקרא באנגלית?
Till.
till. Okay.
She was wish, yes.
She wanted to be able to supermarket.
Judy did know the shop well. She really managed very well. In fact, we got a new boss, and when he first started, Judy taught him.
Then you see you if you hold it right.
Afternoons, and he was a nice. Yes, we enjoyed it. Oh, I can see Judy Bider.
Yeah.
The best thing was that when I used to talk, she's like, I can't speak now because I'm closing the till, I'm closing the thing, whatever. And Dad would say that you and Mum would talk the whole time in the hospital. And then she would come back here and said, oh, I forgot to tell you something. And then get on the phone again, she was speaking for another hour.
Nanny was my best friend when we were little girls. And I was so jealous of all those sisters that she had. And especially when Oscar and Judy were getting married, I thought, wow, to have a sister that's getting married is amazing. I didn't have any sisters, I only had brothers, but I knew about your brothers. I spent my life hearing about your brothers because Judy told me. But I must tell you, I miss Judy big time, as I know you all do. And I don't think I will ever, ever, ever forget her. She was wonderful.
Remember Judy coming to visit Mummy right. Yeah.
Yeah.
In her wedding dress. That's right. That's right. When you got married, our grandmother had just died. Mum was sitting shiva. I was sent to the chuppah in her place, and then you made a visit in your wedding dress because Mum was so upset not to see you all in your beautiful wedding dress that you and Ian made a shiva visit between the chuppah and the dinner. You came. That was such a big mitzvah. That was just so wonderful. It made such a huge impression on me. And it must be now your anniversary because it was a couple of weeks ago, last week, 2 weeks ago.
And I want to tell you, a couple of days before we got married, I had just left being nursing at Mummy's, and Daddy rang me very early in the morning, and he said, Judy, I've got to tell you something. You left and Daya died. You killed her.
That's terrible. Who said that? Daddy? Dad or Grandpa? Grandpa Strauss. Grandpa Strauss or Oscar?
No, not Oscar. Grandpa Strauss. Because I was working for Grandpa Strauss, and he said to me, I want you to know you went and it killed her. And that's what made us come in after the chuppah. I said to Ian, let's go and say hello to all the Avelim. And I think it really made a big difference to you all, and it comforted us as well, big time. So we do apologize to Daya. I don't think I did that for Havana. I really don't. Oscar, I promise you I didn't. I still love you very much, Oscar.
Okay.
I remember you were furious with me getting hold of Judy because you said, I'm the son of my teacher. What are you doing? She said to Judy, you can't just marry the teacher's son. He's going to take it all out of us.
Yeah. But she was so slim, Oscar. She had the smallest waist I'd ever seen.
Yeah, 21.5 inch. I remember it.
Yeah. What did you do to make her waist away?
A good question.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Judy, for those lovely words and bringing back happy memories.
Okay.
Want to speak a few words?
Yeah, I just want to say a few things to all of you.
Okay, Dad is going to say a few words now. Okay, thank you, Judy.
I'm just gonna mute Judy. I'm gonna mute everyone.
Hang on.
Okay, everyone is muted. So Grandpa, you can speak. Grandpa will be the next one. Everyone is hearing you. So yeah.
Hello?
Just speak. Yeah, everyone hears you. Everyone else is muted, so you won't hear them, they all hear you.
Well, I just wanted to tell you that to this day, I miss her very much. We've been together 66 years, and I must tell you that everything that you see around here in the apartment, or even at the time when we were living in North London or in Golders Green, everything that you saw there was her ideas. I only had to go and get the money, earn the money, and she was ready to spend it. And she made a very, very good job of it. Yeah. I also remember some problems with Reva. She cried a lot when she was very little. So that Rabbi Munk came in one day and asked, is she hysterical?
Yeah.
She was about a year or 2 years old. And we didn't know what to answer. I have very fond memories of her and all the things that she has done. And I can only repeat that I miss her very much.
So do we all.
Yeah. Would you ask the kids want to speak? Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Okay.
And next, any one of the kids who want to speak, any one of the...
תשאל בעברית.
מישהו מהבני דודים היקרים, מישהו שרוצה לדבר, רגע לפני שאנחנו נסיים, מישהו רוצה את הבמה, פשוט תלחצו על ה-unmute, דברו, אנחנו שומעים.
אני אשמח להגיד משהו.
דובי, שומעים אותי? שומעים אותך יפה מאוד, אריאלה. כן, הבמה שלך, דברי. בבקשה.
Hi everyone, hi Grandpa.
Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to say, you know, I don't actually remember what year you made Aliyah, you and Grandma. But for the first few years of my life, you weren't living in Israel. But I actually don't remember that. You were here so often and you were so involved in our lives that for me, from my earliest memories, you were always there and you were there a lot. And today, you know, when I talk to my friends about our grandparents, they saw them, you know, once or twice a year, some of them. We saw you all the time. You were this sort of fixed thing in our childhood, and we're all very, you know, lucky to have had that. I think it's a bit of maybe an urban myth. I've heard this from my mum. I don't know if it's exactly the way things went, but I'm sure we all remember Grandma used to give out these as treats, these little boxes of raisins, of sun-made raisins. I used to love them, and now you think back and you say they were raisins. Why were we excited about raisins? But my mum says that it was because Grandma used to give out chocolate buttons, and then apparently at some point I was allergic to milk, and then Grandma switched to raisins. I'm not sure that's the reason.
There were chocolate buttons?
You see, I ruined it for
It's
everyone.
it's not because of you. She gave out raisins long before you were born. I hate to tell you.
I thought that was an urban myth. Anyways, I wanted to feel special.
She gave out raisins because they were healthier than chocolate buttons. That's all.
Oh, well, you see. So, anyway.
That's the way we get 21-inch wheat.
So some fake propaganda ruined part of my childhood. Evanti.
Okay, so don't blame me for the raisins. Anyways, that's it. I miss it terribly, and what can you do?
Thank you, Ayala.
איילת, את רוצה גם להגיד משהו? זה נראה ככה? אוקיי, או הדסה?
Yeli wanted to say something.
איילת אומרת לו, הדסה, נועה.
Yeli?
כולם מנדבים את איילת, אבל בסדר.
I just said that eating raisins instead of chocolate buttons is how you get a 21-inch waist. That's the secret.
That's sugar. I just wanted to say that Ariella, am I online here?
Yeah.
Ariella said that she remembers mum and dad being like a fixed presence. First of all, once the first grandchildren were born, mum had an arrangement with the travel agent that because she was coming here so often, he said, would you like to be on like a waiting list? If I have a flight on the same day for really, really cheap, like £80, would you be prepared to fly at a moment's notice? And she said yes. And she often did. She used to phone up, and Adassa will remember this. She used to phone up in the morning and saying, I'm coming this afternoon. And we'd have quick, tidy up, grandma's coming. And we'd go into full panic mode and shove all the toys in the cupboard, everything everywhere. I can't, it should be tidy. But when Adassa was a baby, she only knew mum came in on a plane. And one day the Air Force were having some sort of targil, some sort of exercise, and there were these F-16s flying overhead, and she looks up and she goes, that's grandma. And I said, I didn't think so, but that was the general idea. She thought grandma lived on a plane. Mum owned the shop was mum. Yeah.
You know, Ima.
Go to grandma's and ask grandma whatever I need. And I said, it's not grandma's shop. No, yes, it's grandma's shop. It's grandma's shop. She always brings things, not personal.
Actually, דווקא הקטע עם ה-F-16, that won't be grandma. עם הדעות של grandma על המחבלים, I could easily picture how grandma flies an F-16 over Gaza. Enough said. Enough said. This is my contribution.
Nuke Iran, didn't she? Told you as well? She told David to also nuke Iran.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else want to say
אני
something?
רציתי להגיד משהו מהיר קטן.
Oh,
Karen.
baby, turn that baby round. Give us that baby.
Here's my baby.
Karen.
Grandpa מבקש and give him this, give him the baby.
What I wanted to say was that I keep thinking about where we were last year and how like it was very emotional the whole time. And I feel שזכינו that a year later I have my baby in Nadav Yehuda that's named after grandma. And I hope that he will have her good tchunot and לגדול להיות a good man like she was a very good woman. זה מאוד מרגש for us that he's with us here in this אירוע.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
תודה
much.
רבה, קרן.
Okay, hang on. David wants to say a few words.
David, just speak to the MacBook. I think that will be the easiest. Yeah. You just speak.
Hi. First thing I want to say is that I think Grandma would be very proud of her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren who, whether it's over the year with Talia's Shiurim or tonight with the two Siyumim, is quite clear that her midot have passed down the generations, and we will continue to bring up our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren in the way that Dad, Lahavdil, and Mum taught us. And on the other hand, we ask her to be a Menitzat Yosher for us in Shamayim. That's on the heavy bit. On a lighter note, I want to think about awarding Rena the prize for education of Grandma, because until Rena came into the family, I'm not sure that Mum knew any swear words in English. And she always insisted that she never ever swore till she met Rena. And I understand because it brings out that quality in me as well. There are so many good stories about Mum, so many funny stories. I won't go into them again. We've all heard them. We had a whole Shiva week when we went through the whole lot. I don't think we missed any. And she had a life which started very toughly, that ended well. I mean, she lived to the, one can say, grand old age of 86. She successfully brought up a family in England. She brought us up with Avat Torah, Avat Ha'am, Avat Eretz Israel. We all came to Israel. She followed us to Israel. She built a new life here in Israel. These are things that one can't take for granted. They're big things. And she ended her life in Israel, which is something that many, many, many people would have given their eye teeth for in earlier years. So we can think of her as having lived a life full of achievements. Mustn't forget the work she did in the hospital. We mustn't forget the work she did for Emunah fundraising, whether it was in England or here. Mustn't forget the shiurim that used to be, was it every Wednesday night in London with she was the Friday night mikveh lady in London. I know Talia has taken that on in Yakir and in memory of Grandma to carry on that kind of work. Kol hakavod. What can we say? You know, there'll always be a very warm place in our hearts when we remember her. And as I say, we should live a life that will bring credit to her name.
Amen. Okay. So I think we'll be finishing.
Okay.
Yeah.
David. He's rolling his eyes.
Okay.
If nobody else wants to say.
Okay.
If nobody else will say.
Close up the evening cake. Turn it round to David. Turn it round to David.
כן. לא, אבל פה אתה רוצה להפעיל אצלך את המיקרופון? אני אשתיק אצלי. לא, עדיף אצלי. עדיף אצלי. One moment. Wait. Okay, David, just speak to the MacBook. It will be easier.
Okay, if nobody has anything more particular to contribute, then I think we'll wind up this Zoom meeting. We will have Mariv and we will have pizza that we've all been so desperately waiting. I want to thank everybody who made the Zoom journey to join us. I hope you got something out of the evening, and we look forward to meeting in future times for smachot and not for azkarot. Particular word of thanks to Hanan and Ayala for doing their siyumim. It's very much appreciated. To Eli for doing the tefillah, for Henry for doing the kelmoni rachamim, to Mark for finding the place in the Gemara where we could actually do the proper kaddish. And as I say to all of you, near and far, may we meet in joyful times in the future. Those of you who are coming tomorrow to the base Olam, we're meeting there at 10 Al Yad HaKever. As many people as want to come can come. Obviously, it's open air, masks aren't necessary. By the way, if you're looking around and seeing why is nobody wearing a mask here, the reason is because we all did antigen tests this afternoon.
And 2 of us are recovered.
Yeah, and 2 of us are recovered, so yeah.
And finally, I want to publicly thank Talia for the series of phenomenal shurim that she gave over the last year. I hope they're taped and kept somewhere because they should form part of your portfolio, Talia, that you can show to people when you want to go for more widespread lecturing jobs.
Digital book.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
All the best. All the best.
I'm gonna stop recording. In one moment. I'm gonna stop recording and